Welcome back. This is Scam Citizen here. This is the second video in my Getting Started series. Here we are at the home screen. We have several different options to choose from. I basically just reset my own account so that way I can walk you through this process. We've got three different options. The only one that we're going to really worry about is Persistent Universe. That's where you can go and play the Star Citizen universe, which is, as of this video, the entirety of the Stanton system. Maybe when you're watching this in the future, there'll be other systems to choose from, but this is what we have for right now because the game is still in development. There are a couple of other options here. We have Star Marine, and then we have Arena Commander. I don't go into those too much, but you can definitely go in there and, you got some multiplayer FPS action, and then Arena Commander, you can do some PvP stuff. It's a great way to brush up on your skills and stuff like that. But then we also have two options on the bottom left, which are Quit Game and Options. When you go to Options, you're presented with a ton of stuff that you can choose from. Not going to go through everything today except for graphics. Just going to kind of set you up for success here. Here with the graphics, we can change all sorts of settings. For resolution, you want to go ahead and choose your native monitor resolution, which in my case is 2560 by 1440. This right here, I like borderless because I have two monitors. I can easily, when I'm in the menu like this, the escape menu, I can easily move my mouse from this window to another window, and it's not a big deal, right? A lot of people say you get better performance with full screen. Sure, go for it. If that works for you, absolutely. I personally have my quality at very high. Scattered object distance, that's how with objects that can be rendered at a long distance. I personally have everything set to high, but depending on your system, you may need to set things like to medium or something like that. It really depends. You really have to kind of play around with this. Just so you know what I have, I've got a 6-core AMD processor and a 1080 Ti GPU. Not the most up-to-date system, but I can still run this game comfortably with these settings. For field of view, I like to see everything at once, so I have mine set to 100, and then we have motion blur. I always turn this off. It just does not work for me. VSync, I have this turned off. I noticed I have issues recording my game when I have VSync turned on. I get a lot of weird skipped frames and stuff like that, so I actually leave this off. Sharpening, this doesn't really affect performance at all. It's just preference. Chromatic aberration doesn't have too much of an impact on performance. I haven't really noticed that much, but if you have a lower end system, you may want to turn this down. Film grain, again, personal preference, doesn't make your game worse or whatever. It's just a visual thing. I personally have this off. Session information QR code, if you have this on, as you can see, it puts a QR code on the top right corner. If you are like an Evocati tester or something like that, and you need to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot which will include that QR code, and that lets the developers know like exactly where you were, what the conditions were, what server you were on, stuff like that. From here, we've got the audio section. Here you can change different things: master volume, sound effects, music, speech volume, ship computer speech when your ship speaks to you, and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different things. I do recommend with a dynamic range, keeping it at full range, and then choosing your device optimization for whichever you have. In my case, I play with headphones a lot, so I have it on headphones. It just depends on what you want. Combat music, the music will actually change depending on your situations, where you are, basically. So if you're in the middle, if you're flying into a new area, the music might change, but this actually changes the music based on combat. Like it gets, like the tempo picks up a little bit, and it gets a little more exciting. Audio driven camera shake, I have this turned off. This is just a personal preference. Play audio in game in the background, that's obvious. Now controls and key bindings, this is definitely not the video for that. Communications, FOIP, which is face over IP, which is a whole other thing. There's also head tracking. Yes, there is hardware that you can buy to actually track your head movements and stuff like that, but not going to go into that today. Let's get back to the main menu. We're going to go ahead and hit Persistent Universe. Here we can choose our character. You can pick either male or female. whatever you identify as in the game, and we can go ahead and do some character customizations. They just recently updated the face texture, so the faces look amazing, but the hair looks terrible. You choose a base face here, like whatever you want, you know, whatever you want to look like, it's up to you. So let's say I'm going to start with this face. You can hit begin blending, and then you pick a different face, and you can do a slider and you can go all the way to that face shape, or you can go somewhere in the middle, and then you can pick a different face and do the same thing. I can go in the middle here, pick a different face, go in the middle here. So as you can see, the picture on the right, the face on the right, is changing based on the slider based on this. It's like a DNA thing, right? Like choose your mother, choose your father type thing, but not really. But yeah, you can pick, you know, different things, and then you can go through and you can change your eyebrows. You know, okay, well, see it, my brows changing. You can change the brow shape. My eyes, I can change. You know, I can change just that. So, oh look, I have brighter eyes now. The ears, the cheeks, nose. I'm not gonna go through this too much. Not too crazy here. Now, as far as the hair is concerned, here we go ahead and change the hair, whatever kind of style that you want. It's going to randomly pick a different style. Okay, that works. And then you can change the color. You can go from like brunette hair to different shades in between. All right, and then we can go ahead and hit accept. And it says confirmation. Are you sure you want to save these changes? I'm going to say yes, save. The system that you choose is Stanton, because that's the only one that's available in game right now, but that's about to change soon, hopefully coming up in 4.0, which is going to be in a couple of patches, hopefully. But within this area, within Stanton, you have 4 different starting locations. You have Orison, Lorville, Area 18, and New Babbage. I'm going to make a separate video on how to get started in each one. Once you've selected a location, it's going to give you the option here to choose a server location. Now, depending on your region, you may want to change this. If you choose best, it'll choose the best server for you, like based on your location and stuff like that, which one's performing the best, and then you can go ahead and hit set as primary residence. Now, I am going to make a separate video on each one of these locations, so if you look on the screen right now, you'll see a link to each one depending on which one you choose. So go ahead and choose the one that you want to watch, and I'll see you in the verse.